702
Healing Hour.
All right, time for our monthly feature, the Healing Hour. And this is a feature where we dedicate an hour for us as the 702 family, as the friends of the Clement Manyathela show. We have a conversation amongst ourselves. No guest, just us. Having a conversation about matters that have troubled us, issues maybe that have traumatized us, and we have a conversation about how we are healing. And as I always remind you every time we do the Healing Hour, this is a safe space. It's a safe space for us to share our pain, to share our stories of survival, our experiences as friends, as a family, as a community with no judgment. And today, we are healing from the wounds that have been caused by adultery. Because cheating can be a devastating experience, even for children. And I think there's an opportunity for us to talk about how we have been affected by witnessing our parents cheat. Because that's a traumatizing experience. Cheating doesn't just affect the couple. It affects the entire family unit. And I wonder how you were affected by it. And I wonder how you have dealt with it when you witnessed it. It can leave lasting scars. And what I want us to do today is have an open and honest conversation about the emotional impact of cheating on children. Whether you witnessed your parents being unfaithful, or maybe you're a parent yourself today and you're seeing the impact of adultery on your children. I mean, for children, witnessing their parents' pain can cause confusion, can cause anxiety, a loss of faith in the stability and security of their family. I'm reminded, in fact, of the was it a documentary, Tiger Woods documentary? You should check it out. Where it's revealed in the documentary how his dad used to take him to the women that he was cheating on with. And I think that's a phenomena that is still very much entrenched in our society today. There are men that are so emboldened, and even women, that they are going to take their children with them when they are going to see women or men that they are cheating on their partners with. And your child is in the car with you while you go on a date, or you leave the child in the car while you go speak to the person you're cheating with. Have you ever thought about the impact that has on your child? Tiger Woods' dad did that. He used to take him. While he goes check on his girlfriends, he used to take his son with him. And now, if you follow Tiger Woods' story, you actually see how the trauma has expressed itself when he started getting into adulthood. So, when you are witnessing the breakdown of your parents' relationship, that can have long-lasting psychological and emotional effects. I mean, children can experience feelings of guilt. They can blame themselves for the affair. They can struggle with trust issues in their own future relationships. So, how have you healed? Because I think sometimes when we talk about the impact of cheating, we focus only on the couple. We focus on the perpetrator, we focus on the victim. How about the children? So I would like to know from you this morning, how have you healed from that? How have you been affected by witnessing adultery in your family unit as a child? How did you deal with it at the time? Because I know, and I remember how me and my brother dealt with it when we were young. Remember, we found a number on my dad's phone of a lady we knew he was involved with. And we called her. I don't know where we got the I don't know. It reminds me of the guy at the Madlaga Commission. He used the same words. I don't know where we got the strength and the confidence to do that. Yeah, those are the words you say on the radio, not the word I wanted to say. But we did. And I remember we went into the corner and we took the phone and we called this lady and we said, please stay away. Like, stay away. This is many, many years ago. We were so young. And I just think it's so unfair that children sometimes have to find themselves in a situation like that where they have to intervene because they are seeing their family unit break down to pieces. I think it's unfair for children to be taken with when their parents are going out to cheat. And I hope part of what this conversation will do is help us understand the impact on the children. And maybe you have been a victim. Maybe your husband, maybe your wife, maybe your partner is the one that's cheated on you and you've just focused on how that's affected you. I hope this can get you to realize that your children also equally need that attention. And children are not stupid. Sometimes we think, they've not picked it up. Trust me, most of the times they can see. Are you a child that has grown up in a family where you have witnessed adultery? How have you dealt with it? Have you healed from it? Are you like me and my brother and you somehow found a way to intervene where you call the person and you tell them stay away because what you're doing is breaking our family? And I remember once we did that, the conversation that was had was, why did you do that? Stop getting yourselves involved in your parents' business. Yeah. Some children are scared to speak out because they are probably going to be punished. Or they're going to be told, what are you doing? Get involved in the business of adults. You've got nothing to be involved in this. Like, this doesn't involve you. You're a child. Isn't that what we were consistently told? So, as a parent as well, how are you helping your children heal from the effects of infidelity? Because I believe that by acknowledging the true magnitude of the impact of cheating, of infidelity, we can begin to foster empathy. We can begin to foster understanding and work towards rebuilding trust and the bonds that hold a family together. 24 minutes after 10 o'clock. Lorato, you are calling us from Pretoria. Good morning.
Hi, Clement. How are you?
I'm all right, Lorato. How are you?
I'm good. I was just telling your producer that you are touching me on your studio.
Hey, I've touched myself in my studio.
So Clement, mine, I'm going to try and keep it short. So we 3 girls of my dad, and every single one of us have caught him with some sort of woman or other. My youngest one was the worst because she caught them in my mother's bed, basically. She came back from school, and there they were. And every single time would tell my mom, my dad would literally gaslight her, or gaslight us, into believing that like we're lying. And my mom believed him all the time, right? And as a result, my mom's self-esteem is like low to the lowest. Like, my mom does not believe in herself. And to the point where, like, when I got married, I was so obsessed with a non-cheating spouse.
Yes.
That you almost self-sabotage in your own
and
marriage.
You question everything, Lorato.
Like, every single thing. And it's because of what it was, right? And it becomes such it's a thing. For me, I always say to my husband, it will be the thing that will break the camel's back. I don't even want to discuss it because I don't want to question who I am and why did you do what you did. Because I know what my mom even went to a mental institution because of what my dad did. But what do they say in Siddi? Mosadi tshwara thipa mo
Ka
bogaleng.
bogaleng.
It almost drove us crazy.
Mm.
But yeah, I know how it feels. It's
Yeah.
not good for the kids at
It's
all.
not, Lorato. And yeah, but I'm glad that you you guys have survived to also, start building your lives differently, not to go through the same thing. And the sad thing is that, right? Lorato says, they used to tell the mom and the dad used to say, no, these kids are lying. And of course, when you are young and there's someone older than you who's consistently defending themselves and says these kids are lying, often mom is going to believe the husband, or husband is going to believe the wife. Because maybe children are confused about something. They are confusing daddy's relationship with a colleague or whatever the case may be. But that thing is so traumatic for us as children. We grow up and we question everything. You've got a partner who is on the phone and they're in the car, in the garage while finishing off a call. You already think that they're up to something because you have seen someone in your family unit growing up go through that. Lorato in Pretoria, thanks for sharing your story with us. Mpo, you are calling us from Midrand. Good morning.
Good morning, Clement Manyathela. How are you?
I'm all right, Mpo. Go ahead.
I'm good. Well. The issue you're talking about, it is really affecting kids.
Yeah.
And with my situation, I found out about, I think it's 4 months ago, that my partner is cheating with the colleague at work, right? Now, when the day I found out, my daughter 5 came back from school. I mean, I just cracked. I couldn't keep my tears, and then she was able to give me a hug.
Oh.
And through her attitude, because she's 11, her attitude has changed. Her attitude had changed recently towards her mom, and one would not understand why. But remember, when parents are ignorant, then sometimes, because when you go, like you said, the story of the golfer, that when you go to this thing, sometimes go with your kids, and they're looking at the situation. And one day, my daughter, I remember she was telling her mother that the day you decide to find a stepdad, please disown me as your daughter. And I couldn't understand that. And when I found out that this thing has been going on for about almost a year, So you would understand that when your daughter comes back from wherever, says, no, uncle, who and who, I don't know the uncle, but he dropped us. So you understand that, okay, it was not a board, it was an uncle. Okay, it's fine. Men have got an issue of just ignoring things sometimes, but that also kills us. The fact that you are told Uncle Banbani just dropped us, and then you just don't read too much into it. But that again comes from how you trust that particular partner. You think she will never cross that line, and yeah, but the kids. Lately, when I sit and just keep quiet, my daughter will just jump on to me and give my hug. And
does she know what's going on in Po? Did you share with her, the daughter?
I did not share in detail, but okay. I think she has known long ago. And when she found me cracking, it because I couldn't keep it in me. When I looked at her, the thought of leaving them, it's another painful. I tell you now, Clement, I've been trying to fix this, even though I know I've been trying to fix this thing ever since I knew 4 months ago. I've been trying to fix it, though they keep choosing the other guy, and
so she still chooses the other guy
over us fixing whatever. Even when I'm saying, you know what, I'm willing so that we put this behind us and we move on. But
what are you gonna do, Mpo?
To tell you the truth, Clement, at this point, I am clueless. Why am I clueless? Let me give you an example. Yesterday, I'm actually a bold Uber driver. Like, for example, yesterday, we should have went and picked up a brother in university, in Valley University. I said, you know what? I can't be able to do it now. Can we do it that tomorrow morning, meaning today?
Yeah.
Well, while I was doing my rounds, they said there's no electricity. I decided to take food for my kids. When I arrived, the brother and her and the brother have been dropped by the same guy that they
No.
So it means you are delaying. Because you are delaying, I'm
Yeah,
taking
but
with
that's
me.
also disrespecting your household, Mpho. Just disrespecting the
Exactly.
family for this guy to even come to the house. If you don't mind me asking, Mpho, is she doing this as a retaliation? Have you also cheated on her before and maybe she feels she's doing it because you've done it? No.
Now, for me, cheating it's way beyond my age. I've done
Yeah.
that long time ago when we were still playing. But now, I've been that guy. You find I even have the circle of my friends. I think I only have two. I've changed to.
Yeah.
I've been trying so hard so that I'm not there.
Yeah. Oh, Mpho. Oh, yeah. And I really apologize for the quality of the line, but I think we got the gist of what Mpho in Midrand was saying. I mean, the minute the wife even brings in the guy she's cheating with at home to drop them off, what level of disrespect is that? And you do these things in front of children. And I think as parents, we need to ask ourselves serious questions about whether we actually care for our children. Why are you doing it in front of the children? Why are you taking your kids when you're going to see the person you are busy with outside of your relationship, outside of your marriage? You don't care. You're so selfish that you don't care about the impact this is going to have on your child. And don't think just because the child is 6 years old is not going to be able to pick up what's going on here. Child are smart enough to be able to read energy. You are destroying your children's future. Your children are going to grow up. They're getting into relationships where they do not have trust. How do they trust when they grow up in a household where trust was destroyed so willy-nilly, so easily? 23 minutes before 11 o'clock, we're talking about the impact of adultery, cheating on the children. And I know most of the time we focus on the couple, on the perpetrator, the victim. And I think we have been missing out on at least trying to understand how our children have been affected, because that is traumatic for them. And sometimes you may think they're not aware, but they are. And I hope part of what we're discussing today can help you at least start thinking more and more about how the children may have been affected, and you start giving them the necessary help that they need. We're taking your calls on 011-883-0702. Your WhatsApps on 072-702-1702. Tabello, you are in the Johannesburg South. Good morning.
Morning, adults who are former children. 23 years later, I get to talk about this publicly, and hopefully there'll be an ear that believes me and sympathizes with the pain that I witnessed.
Yeah.
So when I was 8 years old, I witnessed my mother physically with the man that used to work at Telkom. My father being a miner coming back from work every day. She continued with that relationship, and they would chase me out to go buy beer for them. Now further exposing me to Kotaven. And my sister never believed me. From there on, my mother hated me for witnessing what I was not snooping around for. She exposed us because she brought that man into the house and continued to. And I never told my father of this relationship, but my mother was already ill-treating me of that. And now in the same household, witnessing your parents being physical again, and then you've got that disgusting image in your head that you saw her with this man, and now you're seeing her with your father. Soon after my father died, while she was still in the black mourning, she was involved with a taxi driver that worked at my home. She was sleeping with the taxi driver in the bedroom that I was sleeping with her. It's only 2 years ago I learned that my father knew of this relationship of her and the taxi driver. My sister never believed me. My mother has been ill-treating me, 2 girls only, but it traumatizes me that I did not go searching for this. So why am I being ill-treated by this? And you know the comforting words that she gives me, No, I refuse to be a mother that's going to cheat and expose her children to that nonsense. It hurts me because my mother treats me so differently and hates me for that. The relationship is... So now she's moved on. Now she's a widow, rightfully so. She has the right to have a partner. I have not adjusted to the partners that she has ever had. Now, people who don't know the back history think I'm selfish. Why I don't want my mother to be happy. She's got the right to have her own life of being a widow. They don't know that she did this nonsense long before my father. And she wishes that something would come up that's better about my father. My father had taxis, but I don't have a half brother somewhere. I don't have a half sister. There's no woman that has showed up. She wishes something like that to happen so that she can present a case like, oh, that is why in womanhood this happen. And society portrays as if women don't cheat. It's only men that cheat, you know. I get to talk about this.
Yeah, Tabello, thank you so much for... And I'm sorry, first of all, about what you've gone through. Nobody deserves to be exposed to something like that and then be treated the way that you've been treated. I'm sorry. And I'm grateful that you've also been brave enough to call us and be vulnerable to share such a story with us. And I hope that it will impact someone else, or it will make someone else who's going through the same thing know that there's someone out there who has walked this journey and it can give them some strength. Thank you for your call, Tabello, in the Johannesburg South. Patu, you're calling us from Joburg as well. Good morning.
Good morning, Clement, and all the listeners. Thank you so much. Oh my God. You get to a point where you think you've actually healed, but just from your intro, it just took me back. You know, I grew up thinking that my dad was my hero, you know. I felt like I had the perfect childhood, you know, he was present. And then the older you get, your eyes get open to start realizing certain things, you know. And then that's when I started realizing that actually my dad has not been faithful to my mom, because he actually had kids who are actually older than I am, or my siblings are, you know. To get to realize that he's actually been doing this way before we actually existed, you know. And then the more I got to know, the more it broke my heart, you know. And the worst thing was that some of his kids would actually reach out to us as his kids, right? To build the relationship, to sort of like get to know us. But it always felt uncomfortable, you know, to a point where I myself even gotten to a point where I asked him to say, if these are your kids, why don't you then introduce them officially instead of us having to talk to them behind our mom's back, you know? And then he will even go as far as saying, but those are kids from outside, you know, referring to his own kids as kids from outside, you know. Just a man who thinks about kids in that manner actually just broke my heart. To a point, fast forward, there's a lot that has happened though. But I've realized that it is truly impacting the kind of relationships that I have currently. Just a small red flag. Mostly if a person lies to me, it's things that I cannot stand. I mean, I'm 35 years old now, not yet been married. And I think it's mainly because of that. I scrutinize a lot.
Yeah.
I think long term, you know, when someone does something, if there's a small red flag, I always think probably it's going to lead to that. Do I want to live the kind of life that I saw my mom and dad living, you know, where I felt like my mom had to stay, you know, because probably she was thinking about us. And even though it's something that I still don't get till today, but I don't want to be in that position. I mean, I saw my mom going to a point of having diabetes, high blood pressure, all these things because of all the stress that she was constantly in. I mean, after, sorry to say this, but after my mom passed on, I mean, my dad had a child 6 months later after my mom passed on, you know. Things like that I still feel like I've not healed from, and it's definitely impacting me, you know.
How's your relationship with your dad now?
Before this show, I thought it was great, honestly. I won't lie. I thought I had forgiven him, but immediately when it started with the intro, I felt how my heart just broke, you know, just thinking about all the pain. And I'm sure he does not realize how much it has impacted me per se. But I mean, it's a work in progress. He's my dad. I love him, but I definitely don't want a partner like him, or I don't want someone to have kids with who will actually do that to me.
Yeah. And I wish you all the best, Patu. You deserve a partner that's going to love you, and a partner that's not going to put you through hell. And I hope that you can start your own journey of healing, even in that journey of forgiving your dad. And I'm sorry that you've gone through what you've gone through. I know how tough it is. I know how it impacts even the relationships that you have in the future. And I think sometimes our parents just don't understand the trauma that we got from those experiences. But I think we are a new generation, and as we start having our own and establishing our own families, we have an opportunity to do things differently. Patu in Joburg, thank you. Siddi, you're calling us from Cape Town. Good morning.
Good morning, Clement. Yeah, I think you're very right when you say that our parents don't realize the trauma that they cause us, probably because of the generation that they grew up in.
Yeah.
Yeah, but my story is as far as my parents have been married since 1977. They are still married. My father has had 4 children while married to my mother. My one sister is like 2 months older than I am. So for most of my young life, I thought I was the last born because my dad got other children from his previous marriage. But then when I was about 17, he started introducing me to these other half siblings without warning, without discussion, nothing. He would literally just wake up one day and be like, do you want to meet such and such a person? And because I'm such an agreeable person, I'll never say no. I was very obedient to my parents. I didn't fight, I didn't rebel. Anyway, so I met 3 out of the 4, and I've met their parents, their mothers. Now, I remember when I was young, my parents used to fight a lot, and there are names that used to come up. And when I met my siblings' mothers, then it started to make sense, because these were the names that my parents used to fight about. So I've got good relationships with 2 of my sisters, but I've got the most resentment for my dad. I love him to bits, I really, really do, but I resent what he did to me, because also now that he's in his old age, it's not something that I'll ever discuss with him. I can't. I don't think he would be able to handle that, or he would understand. But he's also now, through the years, started to basically, he wants me to be the glue between all my siblings. Like one of my siblings, he said, when my mother found out that I knew, he told me to lie about how we met when he was the one that took me to meet her. So, like, family secrets, the thing is that they're not overtly destructive. It happens over time, slowly but surely. And then you wake up one day and you realize, no, man, I'm damaged. I'm damaged. And and what irritates me is he was almost making me clean up his mess. Like, he would ask me to take my siblings to family events and introduce them. I'm like, I was not involved in this. Why?
That's unfair.
Yeah, so
that's unfair on you.
It's terrible. Yeah, so people don't understand when I say I don't want to go home, but like, the tension at home is all because I think my mom is also resentful as a result, and the atmosphere at home is just not
unhealthy.
I'd rather not be there. Yeah.
Oh, Siddi, thank you for calling us, and I wish you healing. And as you can hear, a lot of the people who are calling will say, like, I love my dad. But there's something here that has pained me so much. That's the experience of many people out there. And nobody has given them an opportunity to even talk about the pain that they've witnessed, that they've experienced from what they have witnessed as children. And really, my only hope is we have an opportunity to do things differently. Because some of you, your father doesn't even have the capacity to even have that conversation with you. They won't understand it. Like, some of the parents are going to think, why are you getting yourself involved in older people's things? So I get it. It's complicated. But man, we have been broken by the things that we've witnessed. And maybe you don't realize that, but maybe it's your partner who picks up the smaller things that happen in a relationship or in your marriage, but you've not been able to trace it back to what you witnessed when you were a child and what you were subjected to. Let me go through some of the messages that have come through on the WhatsApp line. Anonymous says, "Hi Clement, the adultery of my father has affected myself and my little sister. He neglected us and stopped showing us a love of a father. He told me if I want a relationship with him, I must build it with myself, with him. I must make that effort. How can I do that when he hurt my mother? I became my mom's therapist as a young girl." Oh. In 2019, my husband came to finish Lobola, and he said he must gain from it. And I was angry till today that my husband's family bought him the symbolic trench coat from Marabastad. Today, I am planning a wedding, and he said he's not coming because of that gift of clothes coming from Marabastad. He even said he won't keep the Lobola money for the white wedding today. We are planning the wedding from our own pockets. I've concluded that he is a narcissist of a father, and I cut him off entirely. He has brought so much pain on our lives because of his selfish needs and negligence of taking care of his offsprings. Please keep me anonymous. Anonymous, thank you for sending that message, and I hope you're going to have a beautiful family. I hope you'll have a beautiful wedding still, in spite of what you've experienced. I do feel for children who became their parents' therapist at a young age. I feel for you. There's some of you that your mother was consistently coming to you to tell you of what your dad was doing. And you are so young, you are too young to carry the weight of that burden of information. Because maybe your mom didn't want to talk to her friends. Or maybe your mom actually just wanted you guys to see that, oh, look at how terrible your dad is. But that is not fair on a child. And it doesn't matter how as a mom or as a dad, you don't have best friends, you don't have anybody to talk to. You cannot overburden a child who's 6, who's 8, who's 10, who doesn't understand even the concept of adultery in the way you do with information like that. And if you are to tell them, there's a way you break the news to a child who is not old enough to understand. But sometimes as parents, we're driven by hate, and you want the children to see the dad as a monster or to see the mom as a monster. You start saying these things about their mother. It may work for you because it makes you feel better, but that is unfair on a child. Another message here says, "Hi Clement, I wish I could have my ex listen to you right now. He used to take our daughter to his shenanigans. She doesn't like her dad anymore, and now he thinks that our daughter is being disrespectful." Another message says, Clement, my parents have been married since I think that's, this person also gave us a call. So let me move into this other one. It says, "Hi Clement, thank you for your topic and for being vulnerable. I can just feel your pain. Ask this to everyone who has gone through that pain." Another one says, "Clement, you touched my heart. The pain is there forever, especially when there was a child as a result of infidelity. This is a reminder every day, and their father is forcing that child on you. It's painful." That's a message from Anonymous. Another message says, "Morning Clement, I'm an adult woman, 33 years old. I'm a product of cheating. This affects us deeply. When I was young, I struggled because other kids had present fathers. I didn't. I don't connect with my half-siblings because I feel like I'm a reminder. In my relationships, cheating is a deal breaker and a no-go zone. My dad has passed, but I feel anger for the fact that he didn't protect his family." Oh, Anonymous, I'm sorry to hear that. And that's an element that we haven't even touched on. When you are a product of cheating, when you have been born as a result of your mom or your dad that has cheated on their partner, Do you even feel like you belong in your family? Do you feel the guilt of what your dad has done? Because now you become that constant reminder. Jennifer, you're calling us from Durban. Good morning.
Hi, Clement. I just wanted to, you've talked a lot about men being the adulterers, but I wanted, just share my story about how my father's adultery affected me as a young girl of 12 or 10, I think, where he would come and fetch me. He was allowed to see me on Friday night, and he would come in his car with a woman much younger than him. My parents were divorced. This was his only custody time with me. And, we'd go to nightclubs. I was about 10, 11 years old, and we'd go to these fancy nightclubs, and he'd be drooling over this young girl, a literally young girl, I think in her late teens or early 20s. And I wanted to be that girl. All my life, I wanted to be that girl. And as a result, I had numerous affairs during my marriages because obviously there was a sexual component to what the attraction was for my father. It was so. One night we went to a movie and he left me with one of these women and just disappeared. And eventually there were no cell phones. I'm 77 years old now. But that's the impact it had on me. And I spent all my relationship, I was married 3 times, still wanting that, that sexual affirmation, if you like. And so, I left my husband, my first husband, with 2 little children while I rushed off with somebody else. It's had a devastating effect on my second daughter, and we still have a very, very fraught relationship. And I also battled when, I became the victim when my second husband left me for somebody else. And I'm still trying to recover from all of that, and I'm 7 years old. It's just appalling. How this conversation has awakened so many sore feelings inside me about, then I can still feel the pain of, those early years, how it affected me, and the pain that I feel when I'm with my daughter and how she's angry with me. Anyway, that's my story. So, it has such a long-lasting effect. As I say, I'm 77 years old, and I'm still in guilt about what I did. I'm still in pain about what my dad did. And I still, thank God now, I kind of have grown out of wanting sexual affirmation, but it's painful. It's extremely painful, and it's hard to get through.
Jennifer, thank you for your call. Thank you for being vulnerable to share that story with us, and I can feel your pain. I do. I can feel your pain, and I'm sorry that's what you were subjected to, because I realize, actually, as an adult, that most of how we even attach as adults, through our friendships, through our relationships, most of it has a link to how we were raised and what we witnessed. And that's why I'm hoping that parents can awaken to the reality of the pain and the trauma the children undergo, and how that shapes their relationships and how they express themselves in the future. Thank you for sharing your story with us, Jennifer, and I hope you can find healing and fix your relationship with your daughter.
Hanging out with Clement
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.